I don't really like landscape photography. People photography for me is just a totally different kettle of fish. I've seen tourists use big zoom lenses and treat their visits to foreign countries like going to a human zoo. I hate that. When I'm photographing, it's a bit like speed dating. I meet people and sometimes it's little more than hello, other times it takes me into their lives and we chat for quite a while about this and that. It can be a bit voyeuristic in a way, which troubles me. I'm not too sure about that. And also, what does anybody ever get back from me taking their photograph? Then I thought, why not go back and try to find all these people and give them their photo? A sort of thank you. So here in about 4 minutes are a small part of the stories about the photographs I took, and maybe you'll understand why I think it would be lovely to go back and surprise them. One day I met a wee boy who was selling a bird in a cage, and he asked me if I wanted to see some more. His aunt came along and said it wasn't too far, so I followed them both to two shacks on the outskirts of the town. She went into one and the wee boy went into another, and I followed him in. He disappeared into a side room, reappearing back again with another cage with a whole lot of tiny wee birds. I said they were lovely, and I then made to move. I wasn't feeling at all comfortable with this. But he went back into the other room and was beckoning me to follow. I stuck my head in and I nearly died of shock, because there was a bed, and on the bed was his mother who was having a rest, and beside her was a newborn baby. The boy wanted me to see his baby sister. Now his mother was as surprised as I was, but she waved me in, and he explained he takes photographs, and they had a wee chat about what would be a good photograph for me. So the wee boy went and got a kid goat, and they fed it some milk from a bottle, but it went very quickly, and the wee boy whispered, "No hay más leche." There's no more milk. I felt crap. I moved to leave, but it wasn't to be. He went away to get his dog for me to photograph. Then his aunt, who'd got changed, arrived from next door with her son, and I had to take more photographs. Then the boy wanted to get his baby sister, and the mother had a fit. She went and got the baby girl, Jennifer. Now I had to change a card in the camera, and when I opened my bag the boy said in a whisper, "He must be very, very rich." So this just wasn't too comfortable at all. And then his father arrived. Now he was as shocked as everybody was, and the room was getting really crowded, and the wee boy insisted he wanted a photograph of everybody, and eventually the father sat down and I took the photograph, and we had a wee bit more of a chat, and very soon after that I left. One day I was out wandering in the countryside, and an old man came up to me and asked me if I was lost. I said no, just looking around. He said, "Well, whenever you get up to my house, call in." And he walked on and he kept looking back and waving at me to come on. Eventually I ended up in his front yard. I managed to put my foot in a deep pile of crap. He waved me over to the veranda and sat me down. Said, "Would you like a drink?" I said, No, I'm okay." "Have one," he insisted. Eventually his wife came out with a drink and with a basin of water, and the two of them then knelt down in front of me and proceeded to undo my sandals and wash my feet. We talked for a long time about my mum, who's a pensioner here in Belfast, and what life was like, and I left about half an hour or so later, and at the path I gave the old man $1 for the drink, and he started crying and hugged me. He just wouldn't let me go. I'd been wandering around the countryside for a few hours and had no water left, wasn't feeling at all well, when Raoul saw me and said, "Are you okay? Come to my house." And I did. And his house was a small wooden shack. I sat outside on a tree stump and he went inside and came back with a machete. He disappeared up a tree and then started lobbing down coconuts. The first one nearly killed me. He thought it was hilarious. Then while he was trying to get me to drink at least 2 coconuts, he explained that the juice was very good for the body. And I looked it up recently and found that in fact the coconut is nature's very own isotonic drink. It's actually perfect. Best thing I could have been drinking. One day I came across a dance festival and everybody wanted their photograph taken. And there was this one wee girl and she had her partner hold her up, but I had to change the lens or camera card or something like that, and the wee boy just couldn't hold her up anymore, so I had to put her down. But she just went away and grabbed another wee fella and pulled him out and got him to lift her up and posed again. And her mother and all the other mothers thought this was absolutely hilarious. And here she is. I'd love to get that photograph back to her. She worked hard for it. So those are some of the stories, but bear in mind there are thousands of photographs, and I've got lots more stories about all of those photographs as well. So it wouldn't be too hard to track down a fair number of people to make a film about. And it'd be great to have an exhibition even in this market or some of the other places that there were a lot of people about, and see if we could track down some of the ones who were in the photographs. Or go to Vinales, for instance, where there was the May Day celebrations, and they've got a town square, and I would imagine most of the people that I took photographs of would live fairly locally to that, and we could see who we could track down yet again. And I think that would be really something else. And there was a lady with a big poster on it which reminded me of the old documentary Soy Cuba, and it said Somos Cuba, which is we are Cuba, and that's what it's all about. But would it work? So I decided to make a movie in Belfast about the Orange Parades, and I went back having taken photographs as part of my Northern Family project about 4 or 5 years ago, and these are some of the people that I found. They're all a good bit older, but I've got a movie of it just to let you see how it all worked out. And people like Nathan here, who was in the wheelchair, and he actually remembered me taking his photograph, and Scotty and his wee nephew playing the cymbals, and a whole bunch of other people. So I hope you liked the idea. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the photographs, and I hope to meet you. All the best.